is Heathrow. Only one runway is operational and 2 of its 4 terminals are closed. But the airport is still open.
You can hear it, quiet.
Though depleted, their army of staff are ready to get passengers' bums back on seats.
It's just emotional. Good to see passengers.
Whether it's keeping the airport super sanitised or keeping the travellers suitably swabbed,
Just tilt head back a little bit.
against the odds and with unprecedented challenges around every corner,
We're fearful that the US is going to start cancelling flights.
It's been a nightmare.
Heathrow has to pull out all the stops
I hope I don't hit the plane now.
to remain the jewel in the country's aviation crown.
Amen.
Oh, man. Thank you.
Ensuring every plane takes to the skies,
Extremely emotional.
dealing with suspicious packages in cargo,
No matter what you try sending through this machine, we are going to find it.
and suspect passengers in the terminal,
Yeah, they've got him on the floor.
Heathrow's finest
Not straight, let me get straight.
are doing their best, whatever comes their way.
3 concessions closed at border.
Because this is still Britain's busiest airport.
Challenging, but this is the best part of the job.
It's the end of 2020, and Heathrow is on the cusp of Christmas. Having said adios to lockdowns, the airport's 2 runways are now back in action, with the prospect of more flights. In another boost for aviation, the UK government has announced a 5-day window where people can travel freely and mix with other households.
Just come here and I'll look after you. EK30, you all right? All right, have a good Christmas. It's all right, take care.
So with an increase in footfall expected, the passenger experience managers are out in force.
I'm glad to see the passengers, the places are open, we're up for business.
Travelling to Russia. I was going to spend time with my daughter. Just trying to get away for Christmas. I've not seen her all year because of COVID.
I'm travelling to Dubai because it's where my parents live and I'm just going home for the holidays.
Terminal 2 is now home to over 75 airlines, but it's nothing King of the Customer Service Demi can't handle.
Do you want to carry moving on, man? Thank you very much. Cheers. Don't forget, this is probably one of the busiest times of the year, and usually it's like 10 times busier, literally. You could say it's busy, but it doesn't even touch the sides, to be honest with you.
Having been granted a Christmas reprieve, Heathrow needs to start recouping some of its £2 billion in lost revenue. And on the shop floor, over in Terminal 5, is Passenger Experience Manager Taz.
During this period, it is usually busy, as you've got a lot of families trying to fly out. But, yeah, at the moment, fairly quiet, steady.
Taz has been working in Terminal 5, Heathrow's busiest terminal, for over 4 years.
The reason to why I wanted to join the airport was just the environment, how busy it can be, and how fast-paced it is. I mean, my mum helped me join duty-free. She encouraged me to apply and work there as well.
Duty-free makes up a sizable part of Heathrow's income, £342 million last year, to be precise. But with only essential shops open for most of the year, the takings so far add up to just 97 million.
I started off in confectionery, chocolates. See, I like my standard chocolates. Snickers has to be the best. But when it comes to confectionery, I'd probably say Lindt, yeah, by far, yeah, Lindt.
Before lockdowns, Terminal 5 was host to 40% of all departing flights. That's one taking off every minute.
Usually, the board on the right side, and usually the left as well, is all full. But at the moment, you can just see it's 1 board and a quarter, so there's not even that full compared to what we usually have. So it's going to be extremely quiet today.
At the start of the pandemic, major airlines scaled back operations by up to 80% in a bid to curb the cash flow. Some even sold off their slots to other airlines. Slots give permission to use the airport infrastructure and are hard to come by at Heathrow. But one airline did come by them, and they're British and new to Terminal 2.
Good afternoon. Are you for Eastern? Eastern? Yeah. Eastern?
Eastern Airways run 1 flight a day to that lesser-known English Riviera, Teesside, and doing their best to make the airline's first ever Christmas at Heathrow a cracker are check-in team Patrick and Emmanuel.
Right, when you're ready, sir, if you'd like to step forward. Have you got any Christmas crackers in your hand luggage or luggage? No? Okay.
It's the first time in over 10 years that aircraft have flown from Heathrow to Teesside, and Eastern's success here is dependent on planes brimming with passengers.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That's better. Nice smiles, by the way. So, do you think we'll have lots of bags today because of Christmas presents?
It should be expected.
No present this year?
No presents.
Christmas?
They can't have cracker on, isn't it?
No, they can't take crackers.
No, they can
Not
take
on the
chocolate.
carry on as well.
Lots of chocolate.
But they can give us chocolate.
Due to their flammable nature, passengers are discouraged from bringing crackers on board. And after a month of no flights at Heathrow for Eastern, Patrick is determined to pull off a successful departure.
The Teesside flight is special because it's my first one to go from London to somewhere in England. So it's a special flight for me. So yesterday I had 13 passengers. The day before I had 9 passengers. And today I've got 47.
We go 9 checked in.
So 9 checked in?
Just 9, yeah.
So another 38 to go.
Yes. 43 now the number, yeah.
Oh, it's gone down again?
43, yeah.
Okay, so the load's gone down to 43 instead of 47.
A single trip from London to Teesside costs the airline around £6,000. The price for the passenger is an average of £115, meaning Eastern's 76-seater jet needs to be at least 70% full to break even.
Are you going back for Christmas or?
Going home.
Going home for Christmas, yeah? Have a good flight then,
Thanks.
okay? And a nice Christmas.
Hi there, mate. So where are you going to today?
I'm going to Durham Tees Valley.
Okay, just need your ID, please.
Yes, no problem.
Thank you.
The flight is down to, booked to 43 passengers and we've accepted 19.
Thank you.
So they're still missing 24. Not all the passengers turn up, but hopefully because it's 2 days before Christmas, we get a full load.
That's yours.
Thank you.
Merry
Cheers,
Christmas.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Before the pandemic, Heathrow had over 206 destinations on offer, with New York, not Teesside, being its busiest route. Now, quarantine-free Dubai tops the list of popular places people are looking forward to flying to today.
We must, I'm afraid, look again at Christmas. And as Prime Minister, it's my duty to take difficult decisions, to do what is right to protect the people of this country.
But the best-laid plans of these passengers are about to go seriously awry.
It is with a very heavy heart, I must tell you, we cannot continue with Christmas as planned.
A new, more infectious strain of coronavirus has been found in the UK, causing the government to scrap the 5-day travel window. And they're not the only ones taking action.
Victor 7 from Victor 3.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Victor 7, just a heads up for you. Sweden has just closed its border. The Stockholm flight will now be cancelled. All passengers are going to be called very shortly to gate Alpha 21 and they'll be landed there. There's approximately 160 passengers, just for your information.
Copy last week's update. More than 40 countries have banned flights and travel from the UK in a bid to stop the mutant strain of COVID-19 crossing their borders. France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Ireland, Belgium, Austria, Finland, Poland, Denmark, Switzerland, Romania and Croatia. Quite a lot of countries actually. I wonder what that means for the airports.
Not only is London being placed in a stricter tier with essential travel only, countries are closing their doors to the UK, with flights being instantly cancelled. And Heathrow now has a pile of passengers heading their way.
We booked these tickets more than a month ago. We can't visit our families now because we're going to be stuck here in London. I'm very disappointed with Heathrow. And especially I'm very disappointed with Boris Johnson.
I'm going back home early because I'm fearful that the US is going to start cancelling flights like the European Union is.
What do you think of the recent tier changes?
From my perspective, it's necessary. I mean, I think there should be even more stringent on it and just say, look, everybody's got to stay at home, period. Shut everything down, including Heathrow, if you really want to get it under control.
I mean, a lot of people are gonna have to spend Christmas on their own here. Some people don't have a place to stay. I mean, I'll be okay. I can find a place in London, but a lot of people don't.
It's been very difficult because when you've got your family abroad and you just want to hug them and you can't even do that anymore because you don't know if you can be on the next plane. It really does. I've been missing my mom so much because I haven't seen her so many months, and now I can't even go to see them. And it's been a nightmare for everyone.
A new COVID variant has put a question mark over passenger travel. But luckily in cargo, it's business as usual, allowing airlines to make some much-needed cash, transporting goods such as airmail. And at Air World, a cargo handling company for Heathrow, December is peak season with international post increasing by over 30%.
So basically this is the screening centre. We screen mail, cargo, freight. So all the pallets will go through our bigger machine. This small machine, we'd run the small bags one by one through.
Assistant Security Manager Shane and his team are responsible for ensuring all post is thoroughly scrutinised before being allowed on board a plane.
So it's really important for us to search each bag as thoroughly as we can on the machine to make sure there's nothing in there that's going to endanger people on the aircraft. That's our main priority here at Air World. So any IEDs, anything that's going to cause harm to anyone on that aircraft, we need to make sure we find it and it doesn't go and it doesn't fly.
This X-ray is designed to detect IEDs, that's improvised explosive devices.
These could be anything inside there. Obviously, we can't see, but the machine can. So it could be teddy bears in there. It's Christmas time now, so you're going to be getting all your presents being sent worldwide. So obviously they need to be checked, which my colleague's doing now, to make sure that's fit to fly for the aircraft. If something was dense and you cannot see it, you would have to perform either a hand search, a visuals check, maybe even ETD, which is a swab test.
Yeah, well, we've got some dents there, I must have gone here.
Let's have a look.
Last time.
Yeah, dents.
Yeah.
Just roll that through, Luke, just to find which bag that was, to identify it.
If anything untoward, like an IED, is suspected by Shane and his team, then they would have to evacuate the building and call the police.
Just run this back through at a different angle, Luke, and just see whether you can penetrate it from a different angle. It could be a number of things. To me, it looks like maybe some nut and bolts. It's quite solid and compact, but it's really difficult to see. It's classed as dense, so this could be a potential IED. Most likely probably not, but we were not willing to take the risk. It's overcautious, but we have to be.
Being extra vigilant means this bag of post will now be escalated to a full security check. It may only be one suspect letter, but will result in hundreds of items being delayed.
Do you feel bad? Because it could be like...
It could be a Christmas present. Yeah, it could be a Christmas present. But then again, just because it's a Christmas present, we're not going to take the risk. We're doing our job 100%. It could, even if it's a valuable item, it could be anything. That's completely irrelevant to us.
While some may not receive their Christmas presents or nuts and bolts in time for the big day, it's all in the name of keeping passengers safe.
Last one of that shipment, Luke. People do try and send all sorts of things through to try and sneak it through the system, but when you've got good X-rayers, fully trained, they're going to find them. So no matter what you try sending through this machine, we are going to find it.
Having removed any suspect bags, Shane's shipment is now fit to fly.
Cool, let's go.
But over in Terminal 5... passenger planes are grounded.
Sweden has just closed their borders, which has resulted in this flight being cancelled. So yeah, a lot of these passengers will now have to either get rebooked to a different destination or go home.
A new COVID variant detected in Kent has led over 40 countries to ban all flights from the UK. And Taz now has 160 stranded passengers on his hands.
And what's now? Are we waiting for something, or can we
So
leave?
now the next step will be they'll take you down to flight connections, to immigration. For a lot of the people that are looking to now land themselves and go out, they can go through immigration, and there will also be an area where they will provide you with hotel accommodation if needed, or a rebooking.
But rebooking for what?
Rebooking to either a different location, maybe nearby, or...
But nearby, Denmark's closed, Norway's closed, Finland's closed.
Then it'd be possibly
So what
just...
would it be, northern Germany? Take a ferry over?
So I don't know what...
Like, rebooking makes no sense.
I mean, I can only apologise, to be honest. All right, cool.
This Stockholm flight was my last opportunity to get home. And now a lot of people are going to be disappointed if I don't get home for Christmas.
Basically now they're saying like we have to collect our luggage and just leave the airport, but I'm not a UK citizen, I have nowhere to go here, I just want to go home to my home country.
I want to go to Denmark. I want to go home.
What happens if you can't fly?
I don't know. I don't really know where to go.
And what about tomorrow?
It's a government thing there, so they've closed the border.
Right, but how can they make a decision like this when there were flights going this morning?
Sweden's UK border ban is set to last 48 hours, and passengers will be offered hotel accommodation until another flight becomes available, if and when the situation changes.
You feel helpless, to be honest, with sort of situation like this. If it was a normal flight cancellation, there's probably leeway of lounge access and everything else. If they get rebooked on another aircraft, you could give that sort of welfare. With these passengers, a lot of it is down to the government in Stockholm and everything else, closing their border, and there's literally, the airlines are feeling a lot of pressure, and obviously these passengers are definitely feeling the experience of it as well.
The pressure continues in Terminal 2, where Demi is dealing with his biggest crowd of the year, as a record 45 countries have now banned flights from the UK, the latest being Pakistan.
It's the airline responsibility to
inform us. No, not the airline, sir. They're not the ones denying you travel. It's the UK going from UK to Pakistan. Have to be in Pakistan by midnight tonight.
I understand. We travelled all the way from 3 hours drive from Leicester to London Heathrow. So they are saying that if you have a Pakistani passport with a visa or British passport, you cannot travel. Only if you have the visitor visa, business visa, and you are transiting, you can travel only. Otherwise, you cannot travel.
The ban in Pakistan, taking effect at midnight, applies not just to UK citizens, but any Pakistani nationals who have been in the UK for 10 days or more.
If the government says they're closing the borders, they're closing the borders. You ain't going nowhere. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Even if you have money for a private jet, you're not going to go to Pakistan. It's not about the money. It's about the pandemic and Pakistan. What Pakistan are doing to protect the border. It's a very political and very sensitive subject. You know, I mean, we're not going to go or sort of like override what a government has requested. You know, we've got to have some kind of respect and mutual consent between airlines, airports and countries.
With the Pakistan ban set to last for 7 days, the only option for these passengers is to rebook when the border reopens. Even with his superpowers, King Demi's hands are tied.
We've never been in this situation before, so I'd like to be honest. And sometimes it can be quite upsetting to hear the truth.
Do you feel sorry for some of these passengers?
Oh, God, absolutely, yeah, definitely. We'll do what we can to help, but in my opinion, in cases like that, just be honest and tell the truth. Don't fluff it up and say maybe this or maybe that. Mate, the flight's cancelled, you ain't going anywhere, but do it in a nice way and say, listen, if there's anything I can do to help, I'll try, and we'll give them some numbers, we'll give them some contacts, but that's it. There's not a lot you can do.
Over 50% of all flights out of Heathrow are now grounded. But one border that is definitely still open is the northeast of England.
We're on time, looking for an on-time departure, a 40-minute flight, and yeah, we'll get them home as soon as we can.
At the start of the day, 47 passengers were booked to fly on this 76-seater jet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, mate. Yeah, can we have the passengers, please?
All right, copy that.
But so far, Only 19 have turned up.
Right. Anyone travelling on Eastern Airlines? Good afternoon. We're ready to board. If you'd like to come forward with your boarding cards and passports, please.
Please keep your distance and wear a face covering at all times.
To mark Easton's first Christmas at Heathrow, check-in officer Patrick is embracing the festive spirit.
And everyone have a lovely Christmas. Thank you. Normally I'm bar humbug, but I thought I'd say Merry Christmas to everyone on this. Yep, straight down there. Let's go, Andrew. Have a nice Christmas, sir. We probably would have done the announcement, Merry Christmas, everyone, but saying to 18 or 19 passengers is more personal, so it's nicer.
And how many people are actually checked in now?
19. Let me just...
19.
Yeah, let me just have a quick look, if you don't mind. Yes, 19. So the other 24 didn't show up.
Not the Christmas cracker Patrick was hoping for, but at least he'll be able to get the flight away bang on time.
All passengers on board?
All passengers on board. So we just got to wait for stairs off, doors closed.
It's due to depart at 6:10.
This is what happens when you have the 18. As soon as that tug pushes it, then it's departed.
What time is it now?
8 minutes past. Oh, we're going to cut that fine. So yeah, it's showing 11 minutes past. But he turned these brakes off at 10 past.
Oh, well, there's always next year, hopefully.
Merry Christmas! And a Happy New Year.